So the hot seats around the NFL right now, where do you think the hottest seat resides, Mike?
I thought it was Dallas until Jerry Jones started popping off about how it wouldn't be crazy for Mike McCarthy to get an extension. I mean, that seat, in my view, was so hot that it starts to cool off. You get used to it. Like Bart Simpson once asked his Sunday school teacher about hell. Is it like a hot bathtub that at some point you just get used to it? Right? That's where I thought McCarthy was. I thought he was in the hell of a hot bathtub, and it was just a matter of time before Jerry pulled the plug and drained the thing. So I would assume he's still in that territory. And there are guys who right now it's kind of on the fence and it could go either way. It just depends upon how things play out. Antonio Pierce, I feel like it's a foregone conclusion. The game management on Friday was horrendous. We got so caught up in that botched snap and was it an illegal shift? Was it a false start? Was it a live ball? We forget about the fact that Antonio Pierce said his objective in that moment was to have Aiden O'Connell throw the ball away and burn off 4 or 5 more seconds. Dude, all you had to do was wait as long as you wanted to spike the ball on the prior play. Again, when kids play Madden and they understand how to manage these game situations as well as anyone, when an NFL head coach fails to manage a critical game situation, it becomes even more glaring. So I think Pierce is one where it's, again, I think becoming a foregone conclusion, and there's plenty of chatter already that Mike Vrabel's going to end up there. So we'll see. And Rich, one thing that I dusted off today talking about the Bears job, and I'll be curious for your thoughts on this.
Sure.
You know, we know about the usual suspects when it's time to line up coaching candidates. Coordinators who have never been head coaches, fired head coaches who are available, college coaches. Those are the primary three. One thing that I don't think happens enough is the John Gruden model, where you call up a team and you say, are you interested in releasing your coach, and what would the compensation be? And I've mentioned both Kyle Shanahan and John Harbaugh today as guys that maybe the Bears should call about. And yes, it's going to cost you something by way of draft pick compensation, but like if you would get Shanahan, and I feel like Shanahan and the 49ers are getting close to the point where they would benefit mutually from a fresh start. If you can get Shanahan and join him at the hip with Caleb Williams, are you kidding me? So I hope that in this coming cycle, we begin to at least entertain, and the owners will entertain the possibility of trying to do one of these Gruden-style trades, because I think getting a proven coach who's currently employed as a head coach, that's a pretty safe way to go, and sometimes a guy just needs a fresh start.
What gives you the impression that the Niners and Kyle Shanahan would have a mutual separation like that?
Well, there's nothing specific, but you just look at the situation. It's been since 2017. They've kind of been annually banging their head against the door trying to break it down. This year just feels kind of weird. It feels like it's coming to an end from the standpoint of the nucleus of players that they've had there. And you never know what's really going on behind the scenes. And I mentioned the 49ers in part because it was 10 years ago or so when they had Jim Harbaugh going into what was the 4th year of his tenure there. The first 3 years had all been very successful. NFC Championship, Super Bowl, and NFC Championship. And we reported at the time, and it was accurate, and it was confirmed by the Browns in a roundabout way, that the 49ers were close to trading Jim Harbaugh to the Cleveland Browns. So you never know at the top of the organization whether or not there's a sense that maybe it's time for a change. But after the 49ers lost to the Chiefs, one of the first things I thought is, at some point I feel like Kyle Shanahan needs an Andy Reid reset, where I've exhausted every opportunity with the team that I started my coaching career with. It's time to go to a new place. And I know Reid got fired. He landed on his feet in Kansas City, and the rest is history. But I feel like at some point Shanahan needs that. So if I'm the Bears, remember the year that people laughed at Washington because they called every team to see if their starting quarterback was available in trade, including the Chiefs? Like, the phone call is free. Make the phone call and see if there's a chance.
And if I'm John Harbaugh, though, I wouldn't want any piece of that. You know, I mean, I'm in a place where I can spend my entire career as a head coach in one place. That's a legacy thing. Why would I want to leave Lamar for a kid that I'm hoping is the next Lamar? Why would I want to go to a front office that I'm not sure if the structure is the right thing for me when I know the structure's here? You know, Bisciotti as opposed to the McCaskey family. I don't know why John would be up for a mutual separation like that, Mike.
Well, there have been moments over the past 6 or 7 years where it felt like maybe the train was pulling into the station for Harbaugh in Baltimore, and it always works out. He's always stayed put. There was a time the Notre Dame job was open, and sources close to me told me that was something Harbaugh was eyeing then. So even though he's been there continuously since 2008, which is amazing, just 1 year short of Tomlin's time with the Steelers, there's always a chance it just gets to the point where it's time. Tomlin was kind of there last year. The Steelers were never going to fire him, but there was credible belief that Tomlin, once he got through last season, had to make a decision. He made it quickly, and he's rejuvenated, and sometimes it's good to just take a step back and say, is this what I need to be doing? Is this where I need to be? Do I need to be somewhere else? And again, I'm not saying Harbaugh wants out. I'm not saying the Ravens want him out. I'm not saying Shanahan wants out or if the 49ers want him to go. All I'm saying is if you're the Bears and you're putting your list together, and this is free stuff, Chicago, you don't have to hire the 33rd team. PFT is doing it for free. Just call the 49ers and call the Ravens and see if they're interested.
Great broadside on Woody Johnson, man. Good one. Good one. Didn't see that one coming. You caught me with that right cross, Mike. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.